everyone, welcome back. This is part one of September 2020 Project Life, and this week I am working with some 6x6 paper pads and some other just scraps that I had in my stash. What I like to do after I finish a scrapbook layout and or a kit, and I have lots of scrap pieces of paper but nothing that I can really make another 12 by 12 layout with, I will cut all those papers down and I will cut them into either 4x6 or 3x4 cards, and sometimes smaller ones, just kind of depending. And then I like to use them in my project life. So it's a good way to get rid of all those scraps and kind of organize them better. So if you're ever struggling with when you're finishing a kit or you just have smaller pieces of paper, this is a great way to use up those pieces and not feel like they're just kind of sitting someplace else not getting used. So this one I had some, I don't know, I think it's like one of those DCWV paper pads, some Stampin' Up paper, which is this green polka dot paper, and that one with the little shapes on it. I can't remember where that's from, but it is a piece of paper that I used quite some time ago. So I'm like that I can use that in my stash now. So here this week was our anniversary week and just some other random things going on. Shelby went back to school, so she's starting 6th grade here. So I got some pictures of that. I volunteer at a local wildlife shelter, so I did include some pictures from the habitats where we raise the animals before we release them. So I just did some stitching on these cards. You're going to see here that I'll do quite a bit of stitching on the cards here. I thought it'd be fun to add some textures. So I just did some zigzag stitching on that one. I just stitched around the green rectangle there. And then I will also add some stitching to that top left card and some of these other cards too. So this one I did some zigzag stitching all the way around the 3x4 card. Here I just did some random zigzag stitching here and there just to get some texture to the page. I think I used like a kind of a pinky color for the stitching. And I'm also going to take that yellow card and stitch around it. Again, just adding some fun layers and texture to this page. Sometimes I forget to bring my sewing machine out when it comes to my project life, so I definitely wanted to do that this time. So I'm just adhering everything down. And I really like the colors on this page. They're just kind of fun. They're kind of a lighter muted, but they're kind of rainbowy at the same time. So I thought those were fun. This is just a little real thin wood veneer piece that says "You Are My Sunshine." I've had this in my stash for forever, and I really, really liked it, and I was hoarding it, so I finally used it on a page. This is a camera that I stamped a while back, and I just put it in my Project Life stash ephemera. And what I'm doing now is just adhering it to this title card. And I wanted to put something in the middle, and later on you'll see that I pull a piece of flare. There you go. And just this heart flare that I'm going to add to the middle of that camera a little bit later on. And I like to stamp those images, sometimes just randomly stamp a bunch of images on different colored cardstock or white cardstock and then put them in my stash, and then I'll pull them when I'm wanting to look for something that is a certain color or what have you. So I do like to do that quite a bit too. And it gets me to use my stamps sometimes when I forget about pulling them out of my stash. This says Monday. It's just a Studio Calico printable that I've had forever. I'm going to add that on to one of these cards, just trying to figure out where it might go. That is an Amy Tangerine that says "You Make Me Happy." And those are some other die cut pieces that I cut with my Silhouette Cameo, and I just painted some paper with my sprays, and then I cut out some leaf shapes, and those are just sitting in my Project Life little photo holders as well. That's a little banner. I think it might have been from Basic Gray possibly, and I'm just going to add that to the bottom of this little Polaroid picture. This is a card showing that I completed something at the gym. I can't quite remember what it is. I'll be able to see here in a second. I think I made it to 100 classes. Yep, that's what it was. I made it 100 classes at the gym, so they always like to do little photo shoots, which are fun. The "You Are Brilliant" is going on the picture of my daughter getting ready for the first day of 6th grade. That is from an old planner kit that I used to get. That little banner I stuck on that 3x4 card is just a little banner that I had stamped on a piece of paper. I can't remember if that was a banner that I have in my stash or I borrowed that stamp from a friend. Here are just some little sticky notes that are no longer sticky that I'm going to add, and I'm going to put some journaling on that top piece. Just kind of pulling out some more embellishments, trying to figure out where I might want to put it. That little bow is really super cute. I'll add that to that little cluster there on that 4x6 card. And then I'm pulling out some of my wood veneers. I pull out some flowers and some little leaf designs, and I'll glue those around the pages or around the card. And I thought that little wood veneer heart would go pretty well there, and I just used my liquid glue to glue those down. Sometimes if they have a bit thicker base to them, I'll use my rolling adhesive, but for these I will just use my liquid adhesive. So I'm going to glue that there, and I'll trim off the bottom so it's not hanging off. Now I'm just kind of going around and adhering things. So these are some pictures of when we went on our anniversary. We went to this really, really delicious place to eat where we live. Oh my gosh, the food was so good. It was kind of pricey, and we did bring our daughter with us, so that always makes it more expensive when you have more people. But oh my gosh, the food was amazing. It was so good. And it was the first time we've ever been there. We got recommended to go there by a friend my husband works with. And oh my gosh, the food was just like melt in your mouth. We had these little steak roll-ups. They're kind of like cheesesteak roll-ups. I had some little filet mignon type of little different flavored fillets. I can't remember what my husband got. My daughter got these huge prawns. Oh my gosh, the food was amazing. It was a lot of food, kind of pricey, but super delicious. So I'm just looking on that little card with a little froggy there, adding that wood veneer down. Again, just my liquid glue. I'm using Scotch Quick Dry or tacky glue for this time, or for this adhesive. So I'll glue down this little heart. I'm going to trim off the edge where it hangs off, and I'll use the other part that I trim off on another card, and you'll see that in a second. And then I'll just glue down that heart with more of that liquid adhesive. I like this fine liner bottle. I've recently picked up some art glitter glue, which I just started using. It's much thinner than I was expecting it. I'm so used to the Scotch that it's a little bit more thick, more like school glue. The art glitter glue is a lot thinner in consistency, so it's going to be interesting using that. I've only used it just a little bit, so I haven't been able to use it enough to really see how much I like it, but I'm hoping it will be nice. I have like the little fine tip applicator, so it will be very much like the fine liner bottle. So you can see there I trimmed off that piece of flower and I added it there. Now I'm just gluing down the You Make Me Happy banner. I will use some glue dots to add the bow, and I'm just using some more liquid adhesive on this die cut piece. And I really like the texture, the different kind of papers. I like the sewing in the background, and then we have a little satin bow on the top. Just really like how that all comes together and adds different texture throughout the page. And that works perfectly there. Those bows are nice. They're not too thick, so that I don't mind having them in my Project Life album. Here I'm going to add just a little bit of journaling about this event. So I'm just going to glue that down. I'm just going to write, or I started gluing it down, and then I had it turned the other direction. I didn't like how that looked, so I pulled it off, and then now I'm putting it the other way, writing on it, and then I'll end up adding some more glue and add that on the top right of the photo. Just a picture of me and my daughter before we went out for me and my husband's anniversary. It's hard to get my daughter to dress up, so it was really nice that she wore a nice little dress for us. I'm going to add just a little bit of journaling here, which is going to say anniversary on it, referring to the anniversary of my 100 classes. And then I'm going to do a little journaling. Oh no, sorry, the anniversary is not for the 100 classes. It's just going to be some more journaling that I didn't get to fit on the other side of the page. I'm just going to trim out a little piece of white cardstock and do some more journaling about our anniversary here on this 3x4 card. And I know it's not next to the pictures and everything like that, but it just fit here, so I made it work. I am going to stitch around this, I believe, and then I will do some journaling. Just use some more of that pink thread, and then I'll journal in here more about our anniversary. that fits perfectly in there. Want to do some more embellishment on this page. I'm not going to do too much more, but I did feel like I needed a little bit more on the page. So I am going to pull out the sticky keys from October Afternoon and spell out frog, and then handwrite friend. I have lots of frog friends. I love the frogs that are around my house. I get so excited for spring and summer when they come out and hang out with us. A lot of tree frogs and some toads and things like that. Here I'm going to write a little bit about her first day of 6th grade. I'll just glue that down and trim off the bottom. Here I do want to do some journaling about this food. This is leftovers from our anniversary, so I'm going to write with a Sharpie marker leftovers and just put it kind of in some empty space here to the left of the TV tray that I was eating off of. And then I will add a little journaling on the plate, which I think says something like "so yummy," something along those lines. Oh, so good. I just like kind of tucking that journaling in on those photos. Those are kind of a fun way to add some journaling to some photos. So now I'm just adding on the remaining little pieces. I'm going to add some glue dots on this flare. That's the best way to adhere flare. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have any questions for me, leave those in the comments below. Love hearing from you guys, and I will talk to you again very soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.